Welcome to another monthly portfolio update. If you are stopping by for the first time, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. In this video, I will share with you how much I invested in my taxable account in September, how many shares I bought, and the value of my portfolio at the end of September. But as always, before I continue, a quick disclaimer. The information that I'm sharing is not financial advice. Before you invest in anything, please do your own research and make sure that you only invest in things that you understand. With that being said, I will dive right into my portfolio update. I will start with a quick recap of my August portfolio to show you the value of the portfolio and how many shares I had before the beginning of September. The total value of my portfolio at the end of August was $105,412.18. $105,450.86 was the market value of my investments, and the $61.32 was a cash amount. At the end of August, the total unrealized profit of my portfolio was $31,467.43. This was plus 42.60%. These are my holdings, 2 Vanguard ETFs and 2 BlackRock ETFs. VCN is a Vanguard ETF that tracks the Canadian market. I had 110 shares of VCN at the end of August. VFV is a Vanguard ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index. This is the Canadian version of a VOO. I had 345 shares of VFV at the end of August. XEQT is a BlackRock ETF. This is an all-in-one equity ETF which holds Canadian equities, US equities, developed market equities outside of North America, and the emerging market equities. If you want to hold a single equity ETF which is globally diversified, you might consider looking into XEQT. I had 610 shares of XEQT at the end of August. XUU is a BlackRock ETF that tracks the US total stock market, and I had 334 shares of XUU at the end of August. I will now show you how much I invested in September and how many shares I bought. I bought 5 shares of VFV. The cost per share was $163.62. The total cost, $818.12. This was 51% of the amount that I invested in September. I bought 10 shares of XEQT. The cost per share was $38.69. The total cost, $386.88. This was 24% of the amount that I invested in September. I bought 6 shares of XUU. The cost per share was $67.41. The total cost, $404.43. This was 25% of the amount that I invested in September. In total, I bought 21 shares, all the ETFs combined, and the amount that I invested in September was $1,609.43. This is $193.97 more than the amount that I invested in August. As you can see, in August, I invested $1,415.46, and in September, $1,609.43. The difference is plus $193.97. The total value of my portfolio at the end of September was $112,056.40. $111,851.70 was the market value of my investments, and $204.70 was a cash amount. At the end of September, the total unrealized profit of my portfolio was $36,358.84. This was plus 48.16%. As of September 30th, I had 110 shares of VCN, 350 shares of VFV, 620 shares of XEQT, and 340 shares of XUU. Alright, let's now take a look at some quick details about each of the positions. I will start with a VCN. The closing market price on September 30th was $61.22. The quantity of shares that I had, 110. The average price, $41.70. The book value, which is how much I have invested in VCN, was $4,587.80. The market value was $6,734.20. This was 6% of my portfolio. The total unrealized profit for VCN was $2,146.40. This was 46.78%. Next, we have VFV. The closing market price on September 30th was $164.99. The quantity of shares that I had, 350. The average price, $108.33. The book value was $37,917.13. The market value was $57,746.50. This was 51.53% of my portfolio. The total unrealized profit for VFV was $19,829.37. This was 52.30%. Then we have XEQT. The closing market price on September 30th was $38.95. The quantity of shares that I had, 620. The average price, $27.77. The book value was $17,220.62. The market value was $24,149. This was 21.55% of my portfolio. The total unrealized profit for X equity was $6,928.38. This was 40.23%. Finally, we have XUU. The closing market price on September the 30th was $68.30. The quantity of shares that I had, 340. The average price, $46.37. The book value was $15,767.31. The market value was $23,222. This was 20.72% of my portfolio. The total unrealized profit for XUU was $7,454.69. This was 47.28%. The stock market continued its upward trend in September. My portfolio went from being up 42.60% at the beginning of the month to 48.16% at the end of the month. This is an increase of 5.56% in 1 month. And the amount that I invested in September was $1,609.43. As for the S&P 500 index, it scored a solid monthly gain in September. The index rose 3.53%, booking its best September performance since 2010. This is way above its monthly average return for September of -0.75%. Actually, since reliable market data began in 1926, September is not only the worst average month, but the only month to average negative returns of -0.75%. This tendency of September to post weaker average return is referred to as the September effect, which is a historical stock market anomaly where September has shown weaker returns compared to other months over the past century. There are many theories that I won't mention in this video attempting to explain the reasons behind this so-called September effect. Obviously, not every September is a bad month for stocks. We just witnessed both the S&P 500 index and the Nasdaq book their best September performance over the past 15 years, with 3.53% and 5.60% respectively. We have 1 quarter remaining in 2025, and we will see if the stock market will keep going up for the remainder of the year. If you are a long-term investor, don't pay attention to monthly stock market theories or events you have no control over. Just keep dollar cost averaging on your favorite ETFs, index funds, or stocks and stay the course. You'll most likely do well over time. Alright, feel free to leave a comment below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time with another update. Peace out.